What's going on, family? Welcome to another episode of the Fatherhood Village podcast, the official home for proud fathers and mentors. I am Dale Holloway, the host of the show, and you know who I'm doing it with, Kev Hick. All right, so we got a brand new show. All right, it's a very interesting topic. A lot of different conversations are stirred up from this conversation that we're getting ready to have. All right, we're talking about drinking and driving. We're talking about handling your responsibility when consuming alcohol and how this has a lot of factors, how a lot of factors play into it when you're a parent, right? When you have children, a lot of things to consider. And if you were to lose your life, how would that look for your child, right? Being a parentless child. So a lot of things go into this, a lot of things that play that sometimes we take for granted, we don't think clearly about. All right, so we're gonna get into it. You in for a good show. Before we do, y'all know who we pulling into the conversation. All right, Kev Hick, what's happening, baby?
Man, I'm chilling, bro. How you doing?
I'm good. It's funny because I don't know if you saw my post not too long ago on Facebook. So my daughter, we have her using the tablet for like the child accounts for Facebook, and she messages me now,
Oh,
and
really?
it's
I didn't
like
know they had child
crazy.
accounts.
Yeah, you can put like obviously it's like to the max with restrictions and stuff like that, and you choose who she can message and interact with.
Mm-hmm.
And she messages me from every now and then. I'm just like, it's surreal. I'm like, I'm messaging my daughter, and I feel like I'm still a young parent. That shouldn't
Yeah,
be happening just yet.
right.
And it's very few grammatical errors, and she's throwing emojis. I'm blown away, man. So she'll be 7 in August, but that's something I'm just trying to like realize and process. But everything's good on this side. Can't complain. What about you?
I don't know. I'm gonna try that though. I'm gonna look into what's going on with that because Noah uses his tablet, but he hadn't really gotten a social thing from it. He's just been playing his little video games when he was doing his downtime or doing his reward time. So I'm gonna check
Okay.
into it.
Yeah. The wife
But
showed me.
yeah, it's all
I
good
had no
over here.
idea about it either. I got you. I got you. Good stuff. Good stuff. Um, so I know in the past we had conversations, and I know in your early adulthood, pretty much all through your life, alcohol wasn't big on your list of things to do.
Right.
And but before we slide into that conversation, there was something that ended up on my Twitter feed, on the TFV Twitter feed. For those that have Twitter and use Twitter, follow us at Real TFV on Twitter. But there was a post that Shannon Sharp, shout out to Shannon Sharp, he
Yeah, I
posted it.
see
It
his
was
posts.
basically, yeah, so it was saying Tennessee Senate passes bill requiring drunk drivers pay child support if they cause death of a parent. I was like, whoa. And it made sense, right? That as a parent, right,
Absolutely.
that resonates. So I wanted to have a conversation about it, and the bill hasn't passed the governor's and been signed yet. It hasn't passed his table yet and been approved, but it was
Right.
passed, unanimously through the House, right?
Hmm.
So it looks like it's going to sail all the way through, and it'll probably be a precedence for a lot of other states. So before we get all the way to that point, drinking. What is drinking responsibly as a parent? What does that look like to you?
For me, I obviously I'm not a drinker, right? I've drunk sometimes. I've drank a few times, but I'm not a drinker, and it's because the people in my life and the adults around me as a child didn't drink responsibly, right? They
Right.
drank to a point to where the children had to kind of watch their back while they was, incapacitated. They drank to the point to where shit wasn't going right, and adult things were happening around children, and fights and spinach dip and all kind of shit was going on and up in the air, man. I got a lot of crazy memories of the adults around me not drinking responsibly. So for me, it was always just about not being like that. Things I seen that I couldn't necessarily get around or respect when, even as a young child, I knew that was wrong. But also for me, I think now drinking responsibly is just putting yourself in a position to make it home. Bottom line,
Mhm.
period, man. Always being able to make it home, always prioritizing making it home, right? And always prioritizing keeping that home a safe place and a safe environment. Some parents drink at home, but they just terrorize in their house. They cuss out in their
Yeah.
house. They fight in their house. They domestic violence in their house. They do all these things in their house because they got drunk at home. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about protecting the atmosphere of a child to such a degree that alcohol isn't a factor in their trajectory or their childhood experience. I'm talking about protecting yourself to such a degree that you always make it home to that child to give them that peaceful, serene lifestyle that is going to provide them clarity and an opportunity to grow and learn and stretch and be all they can be, for themselves without needing to overcome you are being successful despite you or needing to break
Mhm.
generational curses because you didn't drink responsibly and that became the example. So it just
Right.
depends, man.
That's valid. That's valid, and it probably looks a little bit different in you know different parents' households. I know for myself, leaving that single life, having a parent, or excuse me, having a family, and
Right.
being a parent for the first time, I basically tried to keep everything in house. I didn't go
Right.
out really anywhere. If we went anywhere, it was to a friend's home
Hmm.
where they had kids, right? Um, and we try to just make sure, hey, everything was in house. We did all our running around beforehand. And there was times that, all right, let me just make it up to the store. One time, some things I did that I didn't have the best judgment on, right? Feeling as okay, it's in close proximity, I'll be all right, right?
Hmm.
And I didn't really weigh, the possible outcomes that much.
Right.
So responsibility sometimes, you know, we could think of these impacts, these implications lightly, thinking, okay, what's the probability, low probability, and think that it won't have much to do with us or the child or anything like that. We think very small, narrow scope. Um, so it was a plenty of times that things could have went left for me, especially when I was single. But as a parent, um, my wife, she didn't drink a whole lot, so she kind of offset some of the things that either I was going to do or if I needed
Hmm.
something done that required her leaving the house or someone leaving the house, she would do that. But I wanted to make sure I was at least getting that part right. All right, I'm not going to touch
Drinking and
the
drive.
keys.
Right.
Right. There's no need for me to lead a home. And at the same time, as you just pointed out, are you belligerent within the household? What type of behavior are
Right.
you displaying in the house? Because it could be just as harmful.
Yeah,
Uh,
some parents are better off drinking damn 10 miles away, so
right, right. So that's another thing to consider. Um, our actions when we get drunk. We need to know the reactions we have to certain liquors, things like that. That the wife said the brown, I get aggressive. And I like Hennessy, I like the cognac, you know what I mean, the whiskey, the clear, the vodka stuff. I would do mixed drinks with. But I did more of that when I was single and didn't have kids and stuff. But anyway, you just have to know how you react to certain things, your environment.
Mhm.
Get the whole scene set up before you take one sip. Um, is it best to already have the kids in the bed before you get to,
Oh,
what are they
absolutely.
seeing? They're going to see
Yeah.
you drinking something, acting a little differently, right? They're going to pick up on that depending on the age. Are they accepting of it? Like you said, is that something they're going to be like, okay, when I become of age, that's what I want to do
Right. What is your
because it looks
example?
like they're enjoying themselves, right? Things like that.
Mhm.
So it obviously there's a bad way of drinking alcohol, consuming alcohol as a parent. Is there
Mhm.
ever like a picture perfect way, or is it kind of like where you're still leaving things to chance when you consume alcohol as a parent?
No, I think there is a picture perfect way for each person. Each person has their own limit. As you just pointed out, that I wouldn't know because I'm not an experienced drinker. You know about brown versus white, the effect it has on your personality. Man,
Yeah.
you in the expert level right now because that I've been drunk 3 times in my life. The first time I ever drank, uh, I was poured a cup of vodka and ginger ale instead of a shot, and I didn't know.
Mm.
It's just drinking. So I was like, "All right, I'm gonna try it, guys," because I'm normally the designated driver. But we had one. They were like, "Come on, kid, you gonna drink one time?" I was like, "I guess
Ooh-wee.
I always wanted to see what this tastes like because it looks like it tastes like bourbon alcohol, but it was pretty good with the ginger ale. But they poured me a cup of it because they knew they was having fun with me, and you know, I've done that, and I had, like I said, the white wine twice with some Italian food that my wife cooked with, and it's so smooth that it just tastes like Kool-Aid until the bottle's gone. You're like, damn, what damn, And once you
Yeah.
see that bottle gone, you got about 30 seconds before you gone. The one thing I like, also, I drank on my honeymoon, so 4 times I've been basically drunk. One time, very drunk. The first time I drank Italian wine at home with my white wine at home with my wife cooked. But what I've learned about myself is, to my knowledge, whether it's a brown liquor or a white liquor, but mostly white liquor, 3 or 4 times have been white. I'm the happiest, loving, most loving drunk ever. So for me, it's always a
Yeah.
positive time. I just don't need to be behind the wheel. I was
Right,
hugging
right.
in Jamaicans. I was hugging Jamaicans, singing the Caravan of Love, uh, proud to be black in Jamaica. At
Right.
home, I was telling my wife how much I love her and how I don't know how guys want to whoop on a woman when they get drunk because all I want to do is love her. And then I fell asleep.
Yeah.
Like I'm just a happy. I'm just a. It exacerbates the love I have and some of even the inhibitions I have about sharing love because sometimes I don't like to say those mushy things. I have trouble being that vulnerable sometimes. And so it just made me a little bit more vulnerable and a lot more loving and a lot more sleepy. So to a person who has uh similar effects, it's cool. But I know people who take one sip of beer and turn into an asshole. My wife specifically, she has an alcohol intolerance now, so she can't drink because she just immediately gets alcohol poisoning because she has a hypothyroidism. But
Yeah.
when she used to try to drink, man, if Ashley takes one, maybe just has one drink, she's mean. She she
Mhm.
bro, she cracked on, like it was like 9 people came into a restaurant at a time. It was three of us, 9 people, me, my brother, and Ashley. She had one drink, looked at the restaurant as they came into the door, and was like, "What the fuck they got on?" And just started. I mean, she
Ooh.
was funny. She turns into a stand-up comedian. She's hilarious, but she's a little mean spirited, so she don't need to be drinking.
It it's funny
It's,
because it affects people differently, right? Like
it
they say that
does.
alcohol kind of just strips whatever filter or barrier that was once there,
Mhm. And and
whatever wall or yeah.
she's anxious and timid and quiet, and now she's aggressive on that. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it just depends,
Right.
man. Picture perfect is safe. Picture perfect is how it affects you. Picture perfect
Mhm.
is the danger that arises in that environment. I'm not particularly dangerous. In fact, my wife could probably kick my ass because I don't feel like I can control my body. I
That's
just want to
another
lay
thing.
down. I don't want to kick anybody's ass. I just want to love everybody.
Mhm.
So for me, I just don't want to be in that state in front of my son. Like the first time I got drunk accidentally, it was before bedtime, and I never drink wine with my Italian meal, and I was drunk before. By the time I took my last bite, I was like, man, that was a good dinner. And I looked down at the bottle. I was like, how much of this wine did you drink? She was like, I didn't drink
Yeah.
none of that shit.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
and then it was over with for
just
me because
know your
so my
perception
son.
of the time and how much
Mhm.
that you had. Yeah.
So my son had to help her drag me to the bed so I could lay down because I kind of collapsed onto the floor and would sleep on the floor. I'm like, you can't sleep on the floor, buddy. So, but my wife said my son got plenty of kisses. My wife got hugs and kisses as I was falling down, and they had to help me. Now, do I want my 6-year-old watching me fall down on the ground? No, that was a complete
Not at
accident.
all.
I had never drunk white wine before. Never really drunk. That was only the second time I had anything. So yeah, it was an accident. I don't want to be that, right? So
Mhm.
of course, the next time every time we've had wine ever since, only 2 times after that, it's been after bedtime. Make sure my son don't see me getting picked up off the motherfucking ground. That's probably a good thing that I should do and make sure. But some of y'all, it means take a cab or take a Uber or don't go out or stop while
Yeah.
you ahead. It just depends. Everybody
Yeah.
can't fall down drunk. Some people got to take two and get the hell up out of there.
Right. Right. Absolutely. You have to know. You have to kind of prophesize, right? Had that forethought, that foresight, and know, okay, if I'm putting myself in this situation,
Hmm.
what if I'm needed, right? What if
What
there's
if I'm needed? That's
a
my biggest
chaotic
fear.
or conflict at hand I have to address, and I need to assess the situation. I need to protect someone, protect myself,
Hmm. Right.
whatever the case is, right? Say you dumbass drunk and somebody break into your house.
Yeah.
Who protecting your family at that point, right? It was all
Not
fun and
your
games
ass.
until some shit happened, and now
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying. Now you could
Hmm.
potentially get your ass beat, somebody get hurt, worse killed, right?
Hmm.
So not to like throw something that's very unlikely to happen, but we had to keep that in perspective. Like, all right, am I gonna get dumbass, belligerent, drunk? I don't know my damn name. I'm falling, stumbling. Do I go there or I had my little sip? I know my limit. I know, hey, I told the wife just pour me 2 of them and
Hmm.
keep me from the rest of it. Hide the rest of that shit. Because if I drink
Hmm.
more, I'm gonna want more. You said earlier before we got on here, you got thirsty, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Dehydrated,
When I was drinking wine, I was getting thirsty. I was like, damn, this some good ass.
right?
I mean, she made some Alfredo or something. I was like, damn, this Alfredo good. I'm thirsty.
Yeah, everything
I'm
hit when you drink it.
best Alfredo in the
Yeah.
world. I don't even like chicken Alfredo like that, but that damn
But yeah,
Alfredo was the
it
bomb.
was all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, that type of thing, right? And so all these things come to play. And I recently, as some of you may know, of course you, Kev, I started drinking almost 2.5 years ago.
Mhm.
And it was for more health reasons, not that I was
Mhm.
on my way to death or anything, it failed kidney or liver complications. It was just like, look, if I know better, I'm gonna do better. Right. The more I
Right.
became educated about just health in general, the more I wanted to improve and better myself. But that's another topic.
Mhm.
But if you think about all the different things that can come from just alcohol being introduced into the conversation, it can go in a million and one ways.
Yeah.
Right.
I
It
mean,
becomes so complicated. Go ahead.
yeah. Like as a child I don't know how stable I know your mom was a mom, bro. Like and your stepdad was a
Appreciate you,
solid
brother.
dude, and your daddy, man, the love that brother got in his heart. He's so damn contagious. If I see your daddy out,
Yeah.
he's so
Shout out
happy
to
to
Pop.
see me just cause I know you. He be like, you could just see the love he had for you, just excited to see somebody that loves his son too. He's so
Mhm.
amazing, man. So I mean, and I know your dad looked like he liked to have a good time, but
Right.
it's so much love. I
Mhm.
feel like what you might have witnessed is a little bit different than what I witnessed. See, what I witnessed,
Absolutely.
I had an Uncle Sammy, he'd get drunk and beat the dog shit out of his girlfriend.
Mm.
Right in front of you. He give a damn. You 6 years
No
old,
shame.
take
Yeah.
your ass to the bedroom and you gotta hear it. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm.
he got drunk one time and threw her wig on the roof. And my brothers, my cousins was 12 and 13, had to go up and climb up on the roof to get the damn wig
Wow.
because
Knocked
she
your
was looking
wig
crazy.
straight off.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
he threw it on the roof, bitch.
Mhm.
And he just chucked it and after he slapped her up and she fight back. It was I continue boom, 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 but like we seen ridiculous shit. My mom
Yeah.
and my auntie got in a doggone fist fight, fell through the glass dining room table, was fucking spinach dip on the ceiling.
Mm.
Like when I'm telling about, bro, my auntie stabbed her boyfriend to death because they was drunk. Death.
Deaf.
Stabbed him to death. bro.
No,
And
no figurative language there.
we was in the house. We was hearing the argument, and then we didn't hear shit. And then we heard the door open and shut. And that was my auntie booking out. You know what I'm saying? And like gone. My mama like, y'all stay up here. She go downstairs. Bro, he dead. He done died.
Y'all saw
Bro,
this man dead.
we came to the steps and saw him laid out. But my mama was making sure we wasn't coming all the way down. And then he was there. He was down there for about 30 minutes. The paramedics got to the projects late because that's what they do. It took them forever to get there. Bro, the paramedics working on him. They like, man, he dead. You know, he just randomly just started snoring. They done tried to work on this man, thought he was dead. He just started snoring. He was so drunk. The alcohol, I think, saved him. Like he just would start snoring. Bro, you just got stabbed to death and you done passed out at the same time, fam. So like, I mean, it was some crazy shit going on around us when it was too many people drinking alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for the most part, if my mom was just drinking, it was cool. My mom liked to dance with me. I danced with my mother on a dozen, maybe 100 nights. You know, to her favorite Earth, Wind, and Fire songs when she was drunk by herself. But if she was drunk with company, then it was a party, and it was like, you know. So I always had to watch and kind of compute the level of respect to give people around me, and it changed the trajectory of my life because it made me a lot more paranoid about how things could go wrong because I've seen things go wrong. It made me a lot more paranoid about maybe sometimes the respect that I have and uphold. So the way my son looks at me, I want him to look at me a certain way. And sometimes, you know, while I respect my mom, obviously, when a child thinks they know better than you because you're doing something to a degree that isn't really that honorable at the moment, it does distort the father son or the mother son or the mother daughter or the father daughter dynamic. It distorts it, and it takes a lot of that authority and that natural respect and that admiration and that honor away, and then that child has to find a new way to find that level of security in you when you don't appear to be secure in yourself. So whether or not you make it home, you know, please make it home. But being a drunk or being a drug addict has effects on a child that are never discussed. But as a child who has come up under many adults that I love who dealt with addiction, I can tell you that you can't restore some parts of the respect lost when a child watches you throw your life away to the degree that you might watch in an addict. Even if you get clean, it distorts the dynamic. It distorts the superior support, the subordinate, the teacher, student, the sensei, pupil.
The hierarchy, pretty much.
It disturbs it, and you know, I can only pray that those who has been disturbed for find that again. But when people have distorted relationships with their children and they've dealt with abuse of any particular substance, I immediately understand where that comes from because as a child observing it, even a child knows when you've gone too far, when you've done something that you shouldn't have done. And so, please make it home. Please don't drunk drive. And I do believe that this bill, getting back to the bill, I do believe that this bill is the right thing. This bill making parents who are making people who kill parents as a result of their drunk driving and their irresponsible decisions, that should be nationwide. It should be nationwide. I agree with Shannon Sharp on that wholeheartedly. But after you make it home or live, we still have to deal with the conduct. We still have to deal with the effect. We still have to deal with the example that you set. And we still have to deal with the dynamic that is reset between you and your child. And those things do irreparable damage, even if you don't get into an auto accident. So drinking responsibly is such a wide spectrum, but there are so many different implications and effects of a person's relationship with alcohol or drugs.
Very true. All facts. All facts. And it's real interesting, right? Because it's promoted and perpetuated, just the act of drinking alone,
right,
nationwide, right? It's like it's all over media. It's being advertised. It's in your face. I mean, just here in Anchorage, Alaska, there's a place called Brown Jug um, liquor store, and I kid you not, all you don't even have to know where one is. Just start driving. Just start driving. Want to show up? Want to pop up? Like literally, there's like I don't even count. I don't bother to count, but easily a dozen within like a 10-mile radius. Like a dozen. You know what I mean? And that's just that particular company. That's not
Oh, right.
excluding any other ones. So
Wow.
it's in your face. There's no shame in it, and the only caveat is them saying, "Hey, drink responsibly. Don't get caught drinking and driving."
Right.
You know about the laws that come with it. So it's like, yeah, you can do something that's can risk your life, but just think responsibly about it. It's like, why would I really play with fire like that? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And you got to be real strategic if you do, not to shame all those that enjoy alcohol. I like to think that everybody is smart about it. But how emotionally intelligent are we once we succumb to this point? Once we had 3 or 4 drinks and
Right.
we have that peer pressure, and it's somebody's birthday, some special occasion. Hey, one more shot. Hey, round on me.
Right.
Come on, man. You being a punk, man. This is my birthday. Do it. You know what I mean? Then you like, all right, one
Yeah.
more, man.
Yeah. I don't get that
One
shit.
more
I don't
becomes
understand it.
two. Yeah. So it's just so many things that come of that. Some are able to, some are able to stand their ground and just say, hey, man, I'm good. Get off.
Yeah.
Don't worry about me. Shut up. You in my face. And maybe they just divert the attention elsewhere. But that's why I just had to give it up, man. Like just all the way. Like to me, it really was no clear, effective way to be responsible. And what's more responsible than not even drinking at all? That's just me. Let me up that up. Let me do you one better and just I had my fun, if you want to call it that. I had my experience, and
Yeah.
I know my children will probably at least try it one day.
Right.
And that raises the other question: when they are introduced to alcohol, are you the one introducing it to them? Do you want them to experience it at home first, if that's something that they have an interest in, or But
Mm.
that's another conversation, right? We gonna leave that on ice for a little bit,
Yeah.
but yeah, like back to the bill, like there's no way to fill the void of a parent once that
No.
parent's lost succumbs to death, especially a wrongful death, an untimely death, as being a victim of a car accident,
Right.
losing their life tragically like that. So like I said, it should be no real argument to that, and
No.
accepting of that bill. Like, look, to pay restitution and they said for as many children they had,
Oh
right?
yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
to the age of 18, I think some other details was once that kid I don't know if it's one or the other 18 and or once the kid graduates high school, but it's a foregone conclusion to me. You chose to make that decision, whether it was an
Yeah.
irrational decision, you weren't in your right frame of mind. Why? I mean, did somebody hold a gun to your head so you drink this fifth? Or did you know what I'm saying? Was that a decision you came to on yourself? So
Yeah.
it's an adult decision. You made that decision consciously.
There's some adult consequences to go with
And
that shit.
there you go. Like, sorry, but not sorry. You feel me? So I know if me trying to do the right thing, and I'm gonna turn over to you, me trying to do the right thing and not drink, and I'm on the road, sharing the road with a drunk, you feel me? They verge on to the other side of hopefully I'm, paying
Right.
attention. I'm a pretty good defensive driver, but in the event there's nothing I can do, get T-boned or whatever, how the circumstance could happen. And I'm unable to steer away from death.
Right.
Boom, everything I set my kids up with, even if we got life insurance and all that stuff, it don't matter. They still without their father or their
Right.
mother, or whichever parents involved. It could have been both of us.
Right.
You feel me? Mother and father gone.
So,
What the
some
fuck?
people done took out a whole family. Like it could be the kids with you too. So like Another thing that we often don't talk about is the possibility of alcohol poisoning.
Yep.
Um, I
I had that.
remember I remember my mom, when I was a kid, had to go get her stomach, pumped because she almost died from alcohol poisoning. Now, we wasn't there that night, so I'm glad we didn't get a part of that scare, but she said, like, she almost died drinking alcohol, 'cause she drank so much that night. And, I have a client that whose son, died of alcohol poisoning, and the bar, they just walked him outside and put him on the bench so he could, calm down or something, and, he didn't make it. And so you're thinking like, or maybe he walked outside and laid on the bench, but people seen him get that drunk and they seen him passing out, and it was just like, yeah, so like the road isn't your only thing to overcome, or the only way that you die doing that irresponsibly. I just think you gotta live for something else. I mean, damn. What I think the issue with alcohol for me, and whether you're drinking and driving, and you're drinking too much, or the guy trying to outdrink everybody at the party, is that you have to live for something besides pleasure. You have to live for something besides like the physical body. Like, this human experience can't just be about having the funnest time ever. I mean, and maybe for a lot of people it is. Maybe that's not the intention, but you got to stand for more than fall down drunk. Like, that can't be what you hang your hat on,
Especially,
as the best
especially,
drinker.
especially when your life or someone, as a parent, right? Your life is dependent on someone's life is dependent on yours, I should say.
Right, right.
Right? It's so much more to it. Now, it was one thing, like you said, to just do dumb shit, and you know, and that's just on you, right? I
Mhm.
mean, ultimately, your parents will have to live with that. But to have a young child, right, that hasn't experienced life at all, or very little of it, and to have to grow up without their mother, their father, or even both, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? So I know I had to change it up. I had to switch things up,
Yeah.
when the child came into my life. But that's another thing. Not to go full expansion on this conversation, but there was times where I was TDY and I didn't have the direct responsibility of making sure my child was good to go where I was physically. Angel was doing that back home, so I had like a little bit of
Mhm.
leniency in my mind. I did, right, but in reality,
Mhm.
yeah, whatever happens to you, whatever consequence happens for whatever you do, it still affects your child, right? Whether
Oh, hell
you
yeah.
here or you at Mars, they're still
Yep.
your child. You feel me? So that could be easily taken out of context a little bit. When I like, hey, I was just out of town. We had a guys' night out. But like you said, Uber, and that's another thing. People get hurt and injured just by being drunk. Like, yeah, I missed the curb, fucked my ankle up, or
Mhm.
goddamn, it could be anything, right?
Yeah.
Again,
Hell,
consciously without any um, stimulant, you wouldn't have done something silly, but yeah,
yeah.
man.
It's just, I don't know. I like, me personally, I've never picked up drinking as a habit because I like being in control. I like being the sharpest
Mhm.
mind in the room. I like being able to think my way out of shit, and outthink my opposition, my opponents, or the threats in the room, or the threats approaching me. I
Absolutely.
think my mind is everybody's mind is their biggest tool, but mine is particularly sharp, and I like that. I take a lot of pride in being one of the sharpest tools in the shed. So for me, it takes away my superpower. You know what I'm saying? Like, it
Yeah.
really robs me of my superpower, and that makes me feel weird and out of place because I'm used to being on my p's and q's. I'm used to having my shit together, and when I'm
Mhm.
inebriated, I'm just
Defenseless.
mumbling. I'm a
Yeah.
mumbling mess that can't that can't
Mumbling.
fight. Yeah, so
Bro,
I
as a
can't.
man, you can't fight, you can't defend yourself, you can't even attempt for real. Like,
I don't know how people get drunk and want to fight, because like, I know my speed. I'm watching my hands. I can damn near
motor skills is fucked
you know
up.
how you see, like, you can see like the Bruce Lee shadow on your hand. Like I can see my hand moving in slow motion, man. I'm like, man, what the
Yeah.
hell is this? I know my speed is maybe a fifth of what it
Delayed
is.
reaction.
Oh God, it's rough, man. I would never want
Yeah,
to be outside. When people be getting high outside and they in gangs and they got opposition, they got people who want to kill them. They be outside drunk and high. Like, what are you doing? You,
bro.
yeah, bro. I can't ever. Yeah, nah, I'm
Yeah.
good.
I've been like we talked about before, like I've been blackout drunk before. Like I'm having conversations with people I don't remember. I remember when I was in Houston back in like 2011 or something. I got girls' number in my phone that I ain't even know. I'm like, who is this? I had to call them and like describe it. I was like, who are you? And like that's terrible. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I have no real
See,
recollection of what happened that night. They had to like drag me to the car. Like as a
I don't know
man,
what type of liquor
why would
that
you
is.
be in that position?
Yeah, I don't know what type of. I can't even. I just go to sleep. I'll pass out before I black out. So I remember every single thing, but I just pass out. Like I
Right.
need a nap right now. I need a nap, and
They
I can't stand up straight. Like you got to hold
they
me
kicked
up,
me. They
but I
kicked
can
me
remember
out of
everything.
you know they kick you out of clubs for that. I try
Uh,
to do one of them moves like you did. I'm in Vegas. You know what I'm saying? And in Vegas, you know, everybody drinking. I think that was the time I was with my older cousin Masai. Shout out to Masai. He just kept sending me drinks like all day, pre-game, in-game, post-game, just always drinking. So I just had my limit. So I'm in the club like I'm fatigued, energy drained. I'm maxed out. So I get a little comfortable position and I bob off. And the bouncer say, "Yo, either you stay awoke or
you
you
either
out of here.
party, yeah, you either party or
You
you
stay awake
parting
or you
way.
gotta
Yeah.
go." I'm like, "But I ain't doing nothing to nobody. I'm just chill." That ain't, that's
You ain't
their
supposed to
policy.
chill.
They
You
don't.
ain't
I
supposed
guess
to
the
be
perception
chilling.
they don't want, it to be
Yeah,
people, messed up in there. But
yeah.
yeah, I was just like you. Like that's my go-to. Just
They don't
I
want
mean,
you
it's
passing
nap
out.
time. I'm out of there.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But you got everything in moderation, man.
Yeah.
People forget about moderation, man. Balance is key. You can do a little bit of everything in most places, but you got to make sure that you make it home. You got to make sure that your awareness is always intact. Your parental judgment is always intact. Like people get drunk and they do despicable things to their wives, their kids, or they say despicable things to family members. It's like that's too
Yeah.
many, you know. And that's the type of shit that gets people killed. A lot of people get drunk and get killed or somehow kill themselves. Don't just be auto accidents. So uh, people who like to drink, maybe for them listening to this that haven't experienced any traumatic events or know anybody who've been affected in a traumatic way, it seems like a stupid idea. Why are we having this conversation? This is stupid, man. We just having a little good look at that, ain't it? But I'm telling you, bro, nobody thinks it's gonna be them
Yo.
until it's them.
Yeah. Till it's
Until they
too
in
late.
jail. Yeah, until they in jail, till they ran over a damn fence or hit a tree or ran over some damn body and had to keep going. Or, like nobody ever thinks it's gonna be them because of drinking. They just think that it's gonna have a fun night. And that's just not how it always goes, man. So you gotta know how it affects
Mhm.
you, know what affects you, how. Which is a new experiment. If I ever do drink again, I'm gonna get drunk off of brown and see if I'm an asshole. If I
Ah,
if I if I
he
ever
gonna
if I
experiment out here.
yeah, if I ever get drunk again, it'll be off of brown to see if it matters. I drink brown in Jamaica. It didn't seem to do anything. I was
Yeah.
actually mixing in Jamaica. I was drinking a little bit of everything in Jamaica. So
Okay.
I broke all the rules as far as what you're supposed to mix. I was still hugging
That's
motherfuckers.
hey. I was in South Padre in I think 2013, and I was
You
mixing
gotta
with
flex
this.
on the nigga, flexing.
I mean, you know what I mean? I was young and living single. But yeah, I was out that way with some other folks. Um, hold on, my little headphone went out. But I was out that way, mixed like we had like it was another. span of time throughout the entire duration of the day, I was just drinking back and forth. Didn't matter what it was. Let me get some. Bop, I got it. Yo, Holloway. Ah, shoot. Threw up. Threw the hell up in the bed. I was asleep. Threw up in the bed, went back to sleep. That's how drunk I was. Just some retarded stuff.
Yeah, I'm good on that
Yeah,
shit.
I'm not proud of
I'm
that,
straight.
but that's a memory that I'm
Uh,
always have. But
yeah,
yeah, man, that's just why, I have those memories, I have those stories. Luckily, I, was able to escape unscathed, laugh
mhm,
and joke about it and tell whoever wants to hear. But um, I'm glad I'm removed from that, right?
right, right.
You
I
know,
think,
I it didn't, yeah,
I think it. What I saw and witnessed from all the adults around me just threw me the fuck off. Uh,
yeah,
I remember having to clean up my brother's piss because he got so drunk, he passed out on our floor and pissed on himself, and I had to clean up the piss because it was such a big ass puddle of piss that
mm,
you couldn't miss it, and you were going to slip in it or you was going to step in it. And so I remember cleaning up piss like a chalk line around him just so we could move around him because he was on the floor. And this is a project floor. So, those are hard floors. They're not like they're cement floors, right?
right,
Um, and I just remember thinking, man, why do people get this drunk? You know what I'm saying?
right,
And I'm cleaning up piss off the floor just so I could navigate around it without stepping on it. And it's like, man, I can't. This drinking shit ain't for me, bro. I can't be
yeah,
this love and respect. And I love my brother, but hell, he got drunk he was drunk when he got killed. Same. It's just drinking has always been a sore, an Achilles heel for those in my family, and
yeah,
it has never served any of them well. It has never. I've not heard one story where shit went better because a family member of mine was drinking. When we get to drinking, something wrong with my damn bloodline. Shit go wrong quick. So,
yeah. But like I said, that's a thing that you took heed of. That
mhm,
was always in the forefront of your mind. It was like, look, I know what
mhm,
I ain't gonna do when I get
right,
older and become an
right,
adult. And then sometimes we don't even think about the long term effects. Like maybe you do make it through and see the light of day, and nothing mysteriously happens to you in in the short term. But then you got liver failure. You
mhm,
got fatty liver. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
Your
Your
family still got to
heart
live with it.
fucked up,
Your family still got to go
all
to the
those.
hospital with you. Make sure you take your medicine. Help you get
Mhm.
healthy. Like it always goes back to the people who love you. So
Yeah,
it's just not worth it, man. Not for me.
right.
Do what y'all do, but I'm good on that shit, man.
Hey, that's what I was gonna say, man. Just think thoroughly for those that like to enjoy themselves, a drink or two. If you have young children, even if you don't, say your kids are grown and you doing silly drunk shit, you know what I'm saying? Just think about what could happen, right? Leave it to being at the house. I mean, I ain't telling y'all how to
Mhm.
live your life, but y'all gotta simplify things as much as you can. Um,
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, see, moderation. But then some people like, look, instead of 2/5, maybe it's a half a fifth is moderation. I'm like, that's still bad, but you on your way, I guess.
Yeah, some people
um,
really like it, and but you got to live for more than that, man. You got to live for more than a
yeah,
party.
yeah,
And if you got kids, you're supposed to be. That's supposed to be what your purpose is at that moment. Yeah, you can be. You can have a life, but if you're a parent, you're supposed to be a parent first. That's
hmm,
just how that goes. So you don't have time to be trying to figure out how drunk you can get. You know how drunk you can get. As drunk as you got the last time. To get your ass up and do something responsible and do something lasting and positive and healthy for them children.
right, right. And we say it all the time. It starts with shifting that culture. You
Hmm.
define your own culture in your house. If that culture needs to be tweaked, some changes need to be made. Do it, right?
Absolutely.
That's what I decided to do. Made a conscious effort toward that, um,
Hmm.
and I don't regret it at all. I don't regret it.
Right.
But you got to do what's the smart for you and your family. What makes sense
Right.
to you, short term and long term.
Absolutely.
Right. But excellent, excellent. But yeah, I'm gonna leave a description. down below to that article in Tennessee. It may have already passed at the time of this recording, but it's something to pay attention to. It may become a trend. It may be a precedent set with this bill passing in Tennessee. If you're living in Tennessee, hey, keep your eyes and ears open. All right. And just being in traffic in general is a lot of things that we had to consider. All right.
Absolutely.
But appreciate y'all for stopping through, being a part of this conversation. We want to forward and promote this type of message as much as we can. So please share, like, subscribe if you haven't already. All right. We got plenty of other videos. If you haven't caught them, go check them out. Share those as well. All right. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. Holla at us. I got one of the shirts on right now. If you're on YouTube, all right. The link is below in our link tree. I'm sorry. Check that out. Support what we doing, man. Ground is from the grassroots, all right. But other than that, you know who it is. It's Dale Holloway. That's Kev Hick. Peace and love.
Peace and love. Sober driving.
Yeah.